It's time to sharpen up those edges and grease up your chains.
We are going to live it up with mountain life. Dropping in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, mountain lifers? Welcome back. Spring break is over, the ski hills are closed, and we're rolling into summer hot. No kidding, the fire ban is already on here in British Columbia, and for good reason. And speaking of hot, we have a legend on the show today. My favorite snowboarder and medieval sword enthusiast, a fearless force of positive change in her sport, Jess Kimura is here today. So let's get down to business. My name is Feet Banks. This is season 6 of the Live It Up with Mountain Life podcast. And the good news is we're going to be living it up for another year thanks to our new presenting partner, the North Face. So let's just give them some love right now because my first ever winter sleeping bag was from the North Face. And they have a really incredible roster of athletes. And most importantly, they believe in what we're doing here. This episode is brought to you by The North Face. Exploring since 1966, The North Face has innovated versatile gear designed to keep you warm, comfortable, and moving. Designed to push the limits of what's possible, at The North Face, we never stop exploring. Excellent. Thank you to The North Face and to everyone listening out there who's back for season 6 of Live It Up with Mountain Life. So when I was younger, I kind of wanted to have my own church. Not a cult so much, more like a club. But I wanted it to be net positive for the world. This is before social media, so those kinds of things, those kinds of dreams sometimes still had wings. The idea was everyone would be really kind to the people around them and helpful. Not all the time, but maybe, once a week or once a day, people would do a good turn, as the Boy Scouts used to say. And then on Saturday, we could all meet up at the bar and pat each other on the back and share all the good things we'd done for our friends and neighbors. Oh, I shoveled someone's driveway. I helped put up posters for the neighbor's missing cat. I chipped in to cover some kid's lunch bill or volunteered to help clean a shoreline. Whatever it was didn't have to be big, and the idea was there'd be a trickle-down effect. Once a few people started helping, everyone else would kind of just join in. Of course, it was called the Church of Saturday Saints. Like I said, I was young, and it was kind of just an excuse to get together and dance and party, but the idea seemed sound, and it still kind of does. So I came up with this pretty good slogan for my church. If you want to change the world around you. Our guest today would have been the first and probably most badass saint in that church. Jess Kimura started snowboarding in small town Vernon, British Columbia, fell in love with the sport, wanted to do it forever, moved to Whistler in the mid-2000s. She couldn't afford a ski pass, so she started riding rails around town, taking the hits, and not really garnishing much attention from anyone in the industry. So she tried harder, took harder hits, broke things, broke them again, and eventually it worked. She nabbed the opening segment in the Hot Snowboard Flick of the Year in 2010, which was a big deal because in those days, shred films were the most important piece of media around. And then building on that, riding with momentum and tenacity, Jess started winning contests, polls, all kinds of stuff, including taking third in Snowboarder Magazine's Rider of the Year award in 2017. That's Rider of the Year for men and women. But Jess noticed pretty quickly how few other women were getting any attention at all, let alone accolades or spots on film trips or much of anything. There was one spot for women and I was in it, she told me. So Jess decided to change the world around her. In 2017, she produced a self-made all-girls snowboard movie called The Uninvited to show the world what women snowboarders could do. Part 2 came out in 2020, followed by Part 3 the next year. But as the media landscape became more saturated, Jess pivoted and started an all-women's shred contest, one with big-ass, oversized checks that had big money, as much as any of the men were making, and it gave women street riders a contest that they'd never had before. The Uninvited Invitation was hatched. And that's what I want to talk to Jess about for this pod. She's been on a zillion other podcasts. There's been tons of story covering her history, and you should check them all out or read the 2022 Jess Kimura interview on mountainlifemedia.ca. And also, you definitely should pause this pod right now and go watch the film Learning to Drown on the North Face Vimeo. But all that stuff is in the past, and I mostly wanted to talk to Jess about the present and the future, and what it's like to change the world around you. So let's take one more break and hear from our lovely benefactors over at the North Face, and we'll be right back with Jess Kimura. Hiking? It's not just putting one foot after another or following a trail. At the North Face, hiking invites you to become part of something bigger, wilder, undefinable. That's why they've innovated gear that unearths a new kind of trail. Constructed with dry vent, their most versatile waterproof solution, the North Face jackets deliver reliable protection from the elements while regulating your temperature. Rain or shine, go further with layers built to keep up. Forge your own path at thenorthface.com. Well, we should start off by talking about wood, though.
Oh, sure, yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Well, we live in, the Pacific Northwest, Pacific Southwest of Canada. What's the best wood for saunaing or campfiring?
It depends on the use and the stage of the fire. Like if you're at the beginning, middle, or end, and your goal, if you want it to be, you want to put a log on and walk away for a long time, or if you want to hear crackles, or if you want to get it pumping again.
Right.
So it just depends what the use case is.
And how did you become an expert on firewood?
I'm not an expert. I just really like putting different wood in fire, seeing what it does, and then studying like the BTUs of each species.
Do you write it down? Like, do you have a wood diary?
I have, but I mostly have it in my head and my heart.
Right. Your memory is pretty good then?
Maybe. For stuff like wood, yeah.
Right. The stuff that matters.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so it's spring, but I think that's a bit of a time where you get a tiny bit of time to chill, but we're just coming off the most recent Uninvited contest. Was that the fourth or third big one?
That was was it the fourth big one? Was it the fourth big one? 2023. It's 2026?
23, 24, 25, 26. Fourth big one.
It was the fourth big one, yeah.
Yeah, and how are you feeling? It's growing every year?
Yeah, I feel like super tired and I have no personality, which is a really bad time to record a podcast, but here we are.
Yeah, well, we'll make it happen anyhow. For people that don't know, The Uninvited started as a video series.
Yeah, it started as a video series in like 2017. I just wanted to, I was filming video parts and I felt like all the girls were getting left out of the projects. So I just wanted to make my own project so I could include all the girls, and it was just girls. So we made 3 of those.
And those were well received.
I mean, relatively. There's always haters in the comment section.
It was, in that era, were you still printing DVDs or was it straight to online?
It was straight to online.
Right.
Yeah.
Then when and how did you decide, okay, that's enough videos, let's make a contest, let's give away some money to the girls?
I feel like I just was in touch with the girls all the time, hearing like, what their challenges were and what their roadblocks were. And it became, as the industry like came around more to supporting more girls, putting them on their team, including them in their projects. The next thing that was budget, because they were getting these opportunities, but there was never any budget allocated to them. So
yeah.
I just remembered like winning $500 here or whatever here and there. When I was coming up, that like funded my come up. So I just wanted to come up with a reason to give away a shit ton of money.
You came up in sort of the mid-late 2000s?
Yeah.
Back when it was like work all summer, 2 jobs, grind, live like a skid.
Yeah, live in a closet in Whistler.
Try to chase the snow.
Yes.
Right. And is it still like that for a lot of people?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I wonder if it's worse or better. I don't know.
I think stuff's more expensive, so maybe it's worse.
Yeah. But then actually you can get because of social media, you can get your stuff across to more people without having like gatekeepers in the way. So in that sense of exposure, it's easier, but definitely the budgets are not what they used to be.
Yeah, so speaking of exposure, this event, 161,000 streams, more than 700 people live on site, big prize money again, $60,000, and over 60 athletes from 17 countries.
USD.
60,000 USD, which is a big difference.
Yeah, it is.
Was this one the biggest and boldest, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was
like getting that many people on site is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was the biggest crowd of spectators we had for sure, which is crazy because the weather was so bad. It was like storming really hard and like pelting rain. That we had hail. We had crazy windstorms where like the flags were bent over completely, but people still stayed. It was crazy.
Yeah. And it's like rail format.
Yeah, it's like
So
a street style course.
the wind isn't as like that slope style at the Olympics a while back, where the wind was so bad it was like dangerous to go, and they made them go anyhow.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'd say it was like slightly dangerous to go because you couldn't really see. Most of the girls aren't wearing goggles. Like
Right.
none of them brought any. And but yeah, you're not really going to get blown off a rail.
Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite part of it? Like, this is your favorite thing from this event the same as the first year, or does that change with the years?
No, it's the same every time. It's writing the checks.
Yeah,
That's like, it's like being on stage and receiving an Oscar or something. It's like, that is like this year I even put on like my favorite hero music into my headphones. It was like nobody talked to me and just went into the corner and wrote out the checks, and was like, this is like a peak moment of my life every time.
right. And you write a lot of checks. Like, it's not like the top 3 take prizes and no one else. Like, lots of girls walk away with money.
Yeah, I think there's, let's see, 12, 16. Because we also do like the first 2 days of qualifiers, we give away $500 to the top 3 standouts for each of those days to kind of get the girls juiced up and like motivated. And then we give away like first, second, third, fourth, fifth is our podium. And then we have like best trick, best style. Like we have like, I don't know, 7 other like auxiliary awards for like $1,500 each. But then like first place is like 15 grand.
Yeah, spread it around. What is the judges consistent, same judges year over year, or is that ever been an issue? I know judged events can be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really hard event to judge because it's just jam format, like all hell breaks loose for 2 hours pretty much.
Yeah.
But we do our best to keep track, and we have some of the best, like most legit people in the industry there judging. We have like the only female Olympic level judge as our head judge, Katie Cook, and then some pro snowboarders and just people that are really respected in the industry. It's tough with judged events because you
Yeah.
will always hear from someone like, oh, that was bullshit. But
Yeah, that's part of the game.
we got people that were like, you have a problem with this? Come talk to me. And no one would ever, because these people are so respected, you know?
Right. Good.
Yeah.
It feels like, I mean, obviously I dipped my toe in snowboarding, but I've, grown up with it here. It feels like the snowboarding is sort of circling the wagons and putting the elbows up a bit more and paying more attention to community and care instead of glitz and glamour than they have in the past. Obviously, you're a little bit early onto that, but do you get the same feeling? They're like, oh, this brand is a ski brand, and they just feel like they're paying more attention to the legacy of it than they did, in the mid 2000, or sorry, the 2010s kind of vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably an evolution that goes along with society as a whole, where we're becoming more aware of like the value of compassion and empathy and uplifting other people, where before it was kind of just, it was way more jockey. It's just like how, our parents don't know how to talk about their feelings, and now we're talking about our therapy to the guy on the bus,
Yeah.
It's just an evolution of just opening up more, I think. So yeah, like the snowboard industry is definitely mirroring that. And I think as time goes by and we lose more people to like accidents or suicide or whatever,
Yeah.
I think it really like puts things in perspective for a lot of people of like, wow, our community is like all we have, and it's so valuable to be a part of. And yeah.
I always think, we come from British Columbia, we come from the mountains. It's a lot of the snowboarders I know tip their toes in the sort of the soul riding, powder, big mountains, all that. Whereas, other places don't have that opportunity. I wonder if competitions like being in the Olympics, like, raises the red flag for some people to be like, hey, like, we got to make sure that it doesn't just become about that.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, as long as FIS controls snowboarding Olympics, then that definitely will never be about community and the betterment.
Do you ever have to interact with FIS? No, eh?
No. Representatives have reached out about, like, now that rail riding is going to be in the Olympics, have reached out. I think to potentially make like the Uninvited a qualifying event for the Olympics. But until I see them putting the safety and well-being of the riders at the front, like I just can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I'll protect those girls with my life, and just seeing what's happened at several Olympics where they just got the shaft.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous.
And it's usually the girls' comp getting the shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah. You watch the Olympics though?
Yeah, totally.
Just the snowboarding or all the sports? Or
In Summer Olympics, I watch everything. Winter Olympics, what do I watch in Winter Olympics? Yeah, just the snowboarding, maybe a bit of skiing.
Is there one where you're like, man, I wish I could do that sport, like summer or winter?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I miss playing volleyball, but I'm like 2 feet tall. So,
Yeah.
So I love watching the volleyball for sure. What else are some of my favorites? I mean, surfing, watching the last surfing Olympics was so sick. That was an example of how like a group of people held their line against the Olympic organization to be like, this is, and we'll see what happens when it's not in a place where you can have the event in Fiji, but they really held the line for what, for them still being in control of stuff and keeping it like true to the sport and good for the surfers that were in it.
I mean, generally it seems like our sports, mountain sports, board sports, even skiing, it trickles down from, depending on who you ask, either surfing's at the top or skateboarding's at the top. So, you know, having that as an example should hopefully, you know, the same as it always has, eventually make it down to the snow sliders. Speaking of surfing, how are you doing with it? I know you have a passion for it.
I have a passion for it, but not a skill.
Are you scared of the water still?
Yeah.
Like you were when you made the Learning to Drown came out 2022, so made in 2021. Still as afraid of the water, or maybe getting better?
I mean, maybe worse, honestly. Because I had shoulder surgery, so that made me even more scared of shit. But I just have like a really big imagination, aka intrusive thoughts.
Right.
So, but I mean, whatever. I'm scared of everything, and I still do it. So.
Right. What's the next biggest thing? Like spiders, snakes, the dark?
Oh, let me think about that for a sec. Business.
Yeah.
And not like being able to. Yeah, because I mean, I'm always trying to get like more funding for the girls.
Yeah.
And so like to be able to sit in those meetings with those big heads and like hold the line for the girls, that's super scary, but I want to do that next.
I wonder about that as a live event, right? It's not that similar, but it is a little bit similar to a published printed magazine in that like it's impossible for us to show advertisers the metrics on their ad in that magazine. With a live event, you know, in the old days, someone would pay $50,000 to put a banner on a jump. And now, like, it feels like a lot of people are like, well, if I can't come back with a spreadsheet report of what I got, I can't spend the money. I won't get approved to spend the money. Does it feel like the businesses are starting to lean back into live events as the internet just becomes even more and more full of garbage?
I think there was like a big explosion after COVID for sure, because people like, you know,
missed each other,
yeah. And there is right now like so many events happening. I think I was talking to some executives the other day at a brand, and they were saying that it's hard for them to prove the value of a live event versus like an internet campaign. So, but they want to support the live events. But so that just made me think like, that would never make me think like, oh, well, that means we're not going to get funding. It would make me think like, how can we mirror the effects of an internet campaign and bring those elements like into our event? Right. So
finding a solution, not the problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like 700 plus spectators is a huge step in the right direction for any, you know, you guys have a tent city kind of, right, of this, all the sponsors?
Yeah, we have the big vendor village. And we have, it's a 5-day event. So it starts with like a big welcome party and
free food,
free drinks.
I read about that. Well, that was a highlight for you, was being able to give young kids free food.
Yeah. Like just as an example, the first year that we did the event, I had this like, because this isn't just like, oh, this is an event. I was like, what if we made the absolute most like Hollywood VIP, like people won't even believe what they're getting experience. Like these gift bags that have like $1,000 worth of stuff in them, and they come in a brand new North Face duffel bag, you know, give away 100 of those and have like a fully catered everything. And like, just, everything that these girls have never had. But so the first year, like nobody really got the vision, and we had the welcome party, and I paid for a lot of stuff the first year, like just myself, not knowing if we were going to be able to make the money back. And we had like charcuterie boards at the welcome party, and nobody touched them. And I was so bummed after. I was like, nobody, like, did you guys not like the food? And they were like, oh, was that for us? Like, we didn't know if we were allowed, you know? So
and at the glitz and glamour, at the fancy events, you know, there has to be a charcuterie board, right?
Yeah.
On an unfinished live-edged plank.
Yeah.
Right?
We had live edge planks, but still attracted no one.
So that was their first charcuterie board experience.
Yeah, and now they dig in full on. They know it's just for them. So
yeah, awesome. What are your thoughts on charcuterie boards?
I mean, whatever. Like, there's probably good elements on them, but a lot of stuff tastes rotten to me. But I'm not that fancy.
Right. What's your go-to like fave meal?
I mean, depends what the use case is.
Right. Sure. Okay. Like if you had to eat one thing for a week, what would you choose?
Oh, I don't know. I really like lasagna. I'm like kind of Garfieldish.
Yeah. Lasagna's pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
And like
For repeating eating?
I could do lasagna. I could do chow mein for a week too, no problem.
Yeah, chow mein's good too. Wonton soup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the event. I saw there's a photo video workshop. Was that new this year, or has that been around for a bit?
We had that last year as well, and we had it kind of informally the year before. So again, like I kind of like stopped my spiel of everything that like this event is about, but we have the photo and video workshop because we want to be able to bring up the girls that and guys that want to get into the industry, but they don't feel like there's a spot for them, or they're always like running into gatekeepers. So we have some of the best photographers and filmers in the industry there, like facilitating that.
It's just like little workshops and then lots of on the snow.
Yeah, like kind of like, hey, a lot of these people have never had a chance to like get credentials to get into an event before. Right. So they start out at the welcome party just doing like intros, and then they're just mentored throughout the week of like how to pull selects, how to like stay out of the way but still get in on the action, like just kind of the industry practices. It just kind of like fast tracks them. And then they dump all their selects into a folder, and we end up using like a ton of them for our promotional stuff. And then we're also able to like market those to people that when sponsors approach us and say, hey, do you have any photos of this rider? Then we can like help them sell a photo of theirs, because we have like the library there.
A lot of people don't think about gatekeeping in these sports, but even, you know, I remember back in the day, but jockeying for position on the, you know, the knuckle of the big air, where you're going to be able to get takeoff and landing in one shot. And there's definitely a hierarchy where like a guy will come up and kick you right out of his spot for sure.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I get it, because there's like that safety concern, because if you're the person that gets in the way and you get landed on, like it sucks for you, but you're also like potentially really hurting the athlete. So but I mean, yeah, like we also have industry night. We did that this year, which is like a bunch of like the thing is kind of like an industry summit. Like the brands, all the people from the brands come out, and to be able to have them there so that anyone that wants to get into the industry and work in the industry can just network and chat. This was our first year doing it. Next year we'll make it more like, it was kind of more casual this year, but we had 125 people show up for that, and we were expecting we hope we get 30, you know. So it just shows like let's make this bigger next year.
And are you always juggling ideas of what to do for the upcoming years? Like some things you try and then don't do again. Other things you're like, well, let's try this. Now we have some space on the schedule. Or
yeah, I mean, always. I'm always thinking about it. Always.
All consuming. People maybe don't know there was an event in Japan.
Yeah, so we had an event in Japan this past year, which was so amazing, because like I'm always saying it, the girls in Japan are just on a whole other level, and they're on a whole other level of talent and style, and a whole other level of zero resources and being completely ignored by the industry. Right. So we had that event there to kind of be like, yo, look, what the fuck is up? And those girls, so many of them came, like I think we had like 12 to 15 of them came from Japan. 90% of them that was leaving Japan for the very first time, and had to like go get passports. And it was just, and they walked away with like almost 30 grand of the prize money.
Right.
So like, it wasn't like, oh, let's give them a, like, you know, what people complain about DEI stuff. Like,
yeah.
It's like, no, they're actually that good.
They're the best.
And nobody knows them. So it's not like they're getting like favoritism
It's
from the
crazy
judges
'cause
or the crowd.
I'm pretty sure we saw it in skateboarding at the last Olympics.
Yes.
Like Japan cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And snowboarding, the last Olympics, Japan cleaned up.
Great. You were just in Japan for that, obviously, but you've been there the last few years. There was a movie you were making?
Yeah. We're still working on it. It's like kind of more a documentary style film with Marie Francois and Kalia Opal. So.
Are you allowed to talk about it, or is it still kind of secret?
I mean, not kind of secret, but it's just about like your heroes. And I growing up, Mofo was, which people refer her to Mofo. She was my hero, and I just remember like running into her in Whistler, and she just, the way that she treated me compared to all my other heroes that I had ever met, like had such a profound impact on me. And that has a lot to do with why I didn't think I was ever going to make it in snowboarding. And I was like, if I ever do make it, I have to be like her, you know?
Yeah.
So
Not be like those others. And now, obviously, you know, you've had a lovely career and pivoted to, you know, being a good person and changing the world for the better in that sport anyhow. But do you have new heroes now in this role of organizer, community builder, event thrower, role model, or hero to the younger kids? Have you got someone that's still a new hero?
I mean, Marie is still my same
Right.
hero. I mean, yeah, I have definitely like all sorts of different heroes of people, I think, who are just stepping outside where people think they should stay and then succeeding at it, you know?
Yeah. And in that sense, it doesn't have to be from one of your heroes, but what's the best piece of advice you've gotten lately or ever?
My brain is slow. Let me think about that for a second. I don't know. Just, you know, people always say, like, follow your gut knows. And I always doubt it, but I'm just starting to see that piece of advice really, like, if something doesn't feel right, it's not, no matter how good it looks on paper.
Your gut's crazy. Like, I mean, I wish I had the numbers, but there's a science thing I saw where the variety of bacteria in your gut, like, far exceeds the variety of your DNA. Like, basically, we might just actually be vessels for a big yogurty thing that's actually calling the shots.
Yeah, I've
Should
seen
be.
stuff like that. It kind of freaks me out, honestly, because... Yeah.
Your brain's not in charge. It's just a bunch of bacteria.
Well, even my brain being in charge freaks me out. So,
What do you do? What do you tell yourself when you start to get, you know, doubt things or get overwhelmed? Do you have is there something you come back to?
There is. I don't know how to explain what it is. It's just there, and sometimes it gets buried. But I don't know. Just like, yeah, my intuition, and just knowing, trying to look at all like the times in the past where I doubted myself and was wrong.
Yeah. What are you really stoked on right now? You know, you're coming off the event. Obviously, giving away the money is the best every year. What else has got you fired up for as we head into summer?
I don't know. I'm still kind of like I'm honestly feeling so burnt out right now because the pull for this thing is just, it's insane. Trying to also maintain like a pro snowboarding career and all my sponsorships. And so right now I'm just looking back at my own shit being like, oops, I need to do this. I got to take care of all the stuff in my own life that I kind of put on the back burner. But
Do you put a lot of pressure on yourself to, like, you know, if I don't carry these girls, no one else is gonna, so I'm gonna do everything and even beyond what's probably humanly possible?
Yeah, but not in like a trying to be a hero sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure other people will, but I just, sometimes it just takes like showing
Yeah.
what's possible instead of just trying to like convince somebody. I like to convince people with like actions and stuff and then they come to that conclusion themselves. Like I hear guys all the time being like, oh, it's sick, like the girls are actually like good now, hey? And it's like, yeah, it's sick, you dumbass. Like they've always been, you just never let them try. So
I looked at the metrics of your live streams, and I guess that is one of the good things about these internet stuff. We can track that, but something like 54% men watching the event.
Yeah, we have, like, before, I think, like, in years past, our metrics, like, for social media and everything were pretty half and half, maybe, like, even 60-40 women to men. And this year, something shifted where the amount of, like, male viewers and interest went way up. And obviously, like, just looking at the numbers, there's way more men than women involved in the sport. It's not as big of a divide as it used to be, but it's cool to see. But it's also like, told you. Yeah. Do you ever get to say that? I fucking told you guys. Yeah, all the time.
Okay, perfect. Good. It must be good. We're going to come back to social media and that, but first we're going to take a break, hear from our lovely partners at the North Face. At the North Face, it's never just a hike. It's your chance to unearth a new kind of trail, wide open and yours to define. That's why they've engineered gear to keep you comfortable and confident with every step. Built with Dry Vent, their waterproof, windproof, breathable technology, the North Face hike jackets keep you out there longer. And stowable options allow you to adapt to every forecast, from sun-soaked days to unexpected downpours. What will you find out there? Redefine your trail at thenorthface.com. Okay, Jess, you just mentioned social media there. You're the meme queen. That started during COVID.
Yeah. I mean,
meme queen, I don't know. A lot of animal memes.
A lot of animal memes, yes.
How, I know we spoke about this before, and you're like, well, this stuff just comes to me because of the algorithm, but in the 3 years since we had that conversation, are you noticing it get even better where you're getting like even more amazing stuff?
It depends. They keep changing the algorithm and they keep changing the platform to like send you different stuff. It's just, but I mean, still, the memes prevail. The animal stuff just still comes to the top. Like people will always be like, hey, did you see what so-and-so did or what so-and-so posted? And I was like, oh no, like I don't actually have any snowboarding on my feed.
It's all goats.
It's all like goats screaming. And
in the old days, they said cats ran the internet, ruled the internet.
Oh yeah.
Is it still that, or is there one animal that you find consistently like is popping up more than ever, or is doing better content than the other animals?
Yeah, I mean, capybaras are really having their day right now. Yeah. Otters. But yeah, goats are definitely having a time. Horses as well. I think before, like, the content you could get of your animal was because you were in your house sitting next to your camera. So that's why cats ruled the internet. Right. Kind of like that's why guys ruled action sports, But then as people got more access to having a camera on them all the time and could capture any animal they wanted, other animals had their chance to shine. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And with the streaming platforms, we've got more animal documentaries than ever before. Yes. Do you watch those?
Animal documentaries? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good way to chill out.
It is. I have started... I watch a lot of like more history documentaries or like medieval stuff, obviously.
Right. Obviously. Well, we'll come back to that, but I wanted to ask you if you had to fall into an animal cage at the zoo, what animal would you want to fall into?
Otters, I think.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We have them here.
I know. Do you know where one is?
Well, no. Okay. I mean, I know where they should be.
I know where they should be too, and I go there and they're not there.
But there's also sea otter and river otter, right?
Yeah.
Do you prefer one or the other?
I kind of prefer river otter, even though they look more slimy.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't, and maybe
they're more accessible to me.
It doesn't seem like they're as smart though.
No, that's what I think. The less smart, the more fun. Yeah, sea otters have an agenda. They have to. They're living in a hostile environment.
Right. Yeah. There's no sharks in the river.
No.
Man, I can't remember where we were going with that, but I do love talking about animals and cats. Do you find, like you mentioned, that social media and that is good for these young athletes, but every parent, every person is like, I spend too much time on my phone. I can't get my kids off the phone. With these kids that you work with, have they found a hack where they can use it for the good, but not get sucked into the endless scroll where you're never bored and you never have an idea? And I feel like people aren't creating things like what you created because they're never bored.
Yeah, I mean, not that I've seen. There's two sides to the coin. One is that everyone gets like an equal shot at showing what they can do.
Yeah.
And that's why social media is so sick. And that is why girls skateboarding and snowboarding and like everything has exploded over the past couple of years, because the key is no longer in like those few gatekeepers' hands that are the ones like holding the cameras. Everyone's holding a camera. So that part is good. But definitely everyone, I mean, it's not just the athletes. It's, yeah, like you said, the parents, everyone is, these programs on our phones are literally like, and they're always getting tweaked with the latest information of like, how can we stick someone to their phone? How can we keep someone on this app? So it's definitely kind of scary, but I do see more and more people coming back and saying, hey, sorry, I put that like blocker thing on my phone where it blocks your social media, or like people know it's bad, at least they don't. So that's
well,
good.
I always say, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product, right? So, and we notice it. I'm at the risk of being a crusty old man, but I remember back when we didn't have phones, and in Whistler, which is a pretty energetic town, people are throwing fashion shows at the bar, and there's art shows almost every month in a warehouse or at another bar. And like, there's obviously more things in play than where are all the artists. Kids have to live 3 to a room now, and you can't put a canvas up in your bedroom, or your rent's $4,000, so you need to work 3 jobs and you don't have time. But it definitely feels like part of it is no one's ever bored, right? Like, I remember sitting around with nothing to do, and then you start coming up with ideas, and then you start creating things.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't think of that specifically, but that's a really good point.
We talked about the medieval stuff. Is that your, how many times have you seen Game of Thrones full season?
Like, I mean, I would actually love to know the metrics of that, but I mean, over 50 for sure.
Right. Like, it's basically nonstop.
It's nonstop.
I saw something on the internet that said that's a sign of intelligence, but...
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rewatching
or
the
a
same...
sign of like social downfall?
No, I didn't see that, but I also was going to ask you, did you put that up?
No, I didn't. I didn't have time for that.
What about Bigfoots and ghosts?
Not super into Bigfoots, because it's like, so there's a Bigfoot walking around, like he obviously doesn't want you to see him, so why bother him? Or what is the pull of Bigfoots?
Well, I guess but it's a big thing. But I think it's that there's not a lot of discovery left in the world. There's not as many wild places, and the idea that there's not only wild places that we haven't ruined or touched or planted a flag in or whatever, but also a whole almost human entity living there as a society. I think people are either scared of that and they want to disprove it, or maybe drawn to it because it's the last frontier.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of
getting a big moose or something.
Yeah. A lot of people want to kill the Bigfoot to prove it exists, and then a lot of people are like, that's the worst way to prove something exists.
By making it not exist?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bigfoot's not so much. Ghosts, I was so into when I was a kid. Like, I was president of the ghost hunting club. I was founder of every ghost hunting club.
How many members in those high school, Vernon, British Columbia?
Oh, we're talking even elementary school.
Oh, how many members? I mean, probably more.
I don't know, like 3 to 4. 3 to 4, and then maybe like 5 to 6.
What would you guys do? Like, go looking for ghosts?
Well, yeah, I forget exactly what we were doing. And I mean, we were just looking for haunted stuff and doing like more like seances and whatever. That was in elementary school. And then in high school, it was more like go to known, because the town that I'm from has a lot of like known haunted places.
Right.
So like breaking into basements of the town theater, and like, but then honestly we had a couple, like everyone wanted to break into the Kelowna or the Kamloops mental institution that was like abandoned.
Did you ever break in there?
I didn't, no, because but shortly before that we did bust into this one place where like I had a pretty freaky experience, and I just remember being like, it's like when you see the Bigfoot and he punches you in the face and you're like, wow, never mind.
Yeah,
I don't need to know too much about that.
So you kind of shifted away from the ghosts?
Yes, I did. I just don't.
It feels like some people are more tapped in than others on that, but I guess you could say that about anything.
No, but I think like, I mean, I know I have relatives who, and I mean, they wouldn't tell this whole family this, so we're not going to name any names, but they could see things walking around a lot, and their kid could also see things, and a lot more like when they're children. So yeah,
when you're pure.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a ghost cat in Britannia Beach.
Whereabouts?
In the old coffee shop it's closed down now, but they built that new thing beside it. But people would be like, yeah, I was in there working, making coffees, and you know how cats walk between your legs like that? And they're like, I could feel that, and there's no cat.
Yeah, I'm not that into that anymore.
Right.
Kind of freaks me out.
What's the weirdest thing that's happened to you lately, or that you can remember? Doesn't have to be with ghosts, but just something really weird or random.
I mean, you should have sent that question to me beforehand, because I can't think right now.
All right, well, don't worry about it.
But when I think about it, I will bring it up.
Perfect. We'll just start a new recording.
Okay.
What else have I got here? What's next? You've got New Zealand coming up with the comp in 2027?
Yes, we're doing New Zealand in 2027. We're trying to go like to different places, because I know that not everyone can like the industry is so like America centric, and obviously right now not a lot of people want to travel there if they're not from there. And yeah, we just want it to be more fair for like the rest of the world, because even being from Canada, like we're right next door to the States, but I remember always being told like you're never going to make it past the Canadian distribution for the brands that you ride for. And I see the girls in like Japan and Europe getting blocked as well in the Southern Hemisphere. So yeah, we did do one in China, we did do 2 in Europe, like 2 consecutive years, and then Japan last year, and then we're gonna go to New Zealand next and see what's there. Every time we go somewhere, we're like, I don't know how many people are going to sign up. And every time I just get my mind blown by all these people that no one has ever heard of. And then the next year they're in it, and everyone knows who they are. So
the word, it seems like it's getting out that this is like, one of the funnest, but also like just the best vibes of all the comps.
Maybe. I mean, it's like nothing that's ever been done. That's for sure. Yeah. Because it's like, it's not for profit situation where someone is working, multiple people are working full-time year round to get funding for something. So like all that goes to the riders, to resources for them. And
which is a tricky business model to sustain.
Yeah, it is. That's why I'm so tired right now.
Yeah. Not that you even have time, but do you get invited to go to some of the other big events to check them out and see what they're doing there? Or?
Yeah, I do. I've gone to a lot of the Red Bull heavy metal rail events. I went to the Locks Open last year, and it's cool. You get to see different, I mean, honestly, mostly you get to see different ways that they're doing partnerships, and it like gives great ideas for elements that you can add, or you see what you don't like a lot of riders are getting hurt because that wasn't really thought about when they were building the setup. So it's just like everything you go to, you learn something from.
People talk about the builds at your comp. It's pretty. Is it different every year? Is there?
Yeah, it's different. I mean, it's always like a street style setup. So like a couple different stair sets with rails and ledges, and it is like different every year. There's a couple like feature items, and this year there was like a huge batting cage that the girls could slide the top of, and then another batting cage on the deck of the quarter pipe. My Squire Ben is the builder. Yeah,
your Squire Ben. I was gonna say his brain is wired for that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's all he ever thinks about.
Can you just kind of let him run free, or are you still pretty hands-on with that? Obviously, you guys have worked very closely for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, that's the build is his deal, but I definitely will, if I think like he's very he's French Canadian and slightly on the spectrum, and so like if he decides something, it's hard to change his mind. So sometimes like when he's being super stubborn about something, we will come as a team and be like, hey, we think this thing, but he usually does it anyways.
Did I hear you got blowback one year for having a dude doing the builds or a dude on the team or something, or did I make that up?
No. When you said blowback for having a dude, and all I thought about was the dude that like dropped in during the contest last year.
Oh yeah, what happened?
He
just really wanted to be a spectacle, or?
Yeah, I was like, it was during like the quarter pipe contest, and it's on the live stream. Like some dude just drops in and does like a hand plant on the wall ride, and it was like, he's a pro snowboarder that's just kind of, I mean, known to be pretty entitled. And I was like, good for you, man. Like you really took your opportunity to show the girls who's boss. Like, good for you, you fucking idiot, you know? But that's just like, that's how disconnected some people are, that they're like, oh, this, like the girls have been not allowed into everything that guy's been allowed into his whole life, but he still sees one thing one day that he still has to drop in. So anyways, I thought that's what you were referencing, but.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a better story anyhow, but.
He did apologize, but I think politically he apologized, but he did apologize. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Does it feel like,
after I posted a meme about him roasting.
There we go. The, the roots of snowboarding, they come from that sort of subculture, skateboarding, punk, those people, even the dudes used to be excluded. That's obviously changed greatly for a lot of people anyhow. What do you think it's going to what's the future look like for snowboarding? Or, is it going to happen, or is it going to be the utopia of everybody gets a chance to do and whatever they want? I
mean, and like, I think everyone should have a chance to do what they want, but not everyone, like we don't need to uplift. I don't know how to say this. It's like people look at what I'm doing and they're like, oh, it's like this community vibe and it's good vibes. And when you said that earlier, I was like, I don't know if it is the funnest contest. It's probably the most stressful contest because the girls know like what is on the line. It's more just like giving them it's not about like feel good. Right. Sure, it feels good to give them money. It feels good to see the underdog like get their day. But
I was thinking more from the spectators' point of view.
From the spectators'
I think
point
for
of
them
view,
it's the funnest.
They're crying the whole time with happiness.
Yeah.
But
for the girls, there's a lot on the line because if this doesn't happen, you're back to ground step one.
Yeah, I mean, it may feel like that. Like all the sponsors are there, all the team managers are there. It's like you're a chance to stand out.
One of the things in these sports, skiing, snowboarding, probably a bunch more, I always was like not psyched on over the last decade, 15 years was the jockification of it, which is why we all kind of left the other sports. But, to really... In a lot of the times, it's you go to the academy and you have the private coach and you have the private course and it's, you got to be rich. And that's not, in my mind, what it's supposed to be about. Do you, are you seeing that in the rail comp, or is that more in the other disciplines?
I'd say you see it the least in the rail stuff because that's the discipline. Like that's what drew me to it was I had moved to Whistler because I was like, oh, that's what you do if you want to become a pro snowboarder. And then after the first year where I showed up with my saved up money and I was living in a closet in Nordic, like I didn't have the money for a season's pass. So that's why I started riding street stuff around like Alta Park rails and Spring Creek rails and whatever. It's super accessible as long as, less with global warming now, but it's super accessible for people to just go to a park and try something. So, I mean, resorts are getting less and less accessible, but there's still lots of places that you can go and ride park, like that aren't just big name resorts,
And I also feel like with rails, like you can really get hurt easier than, hitting a perfectly groomed jump in the terrain park.
Yeah, rails, you can really get hurt for sure because you're like hitting your body against stuff. Whereas jumps, like it's just the amount of like air that you're falling down from can also really mess you up. But I think rails for sure probably have more.
That makes a nice barrier of entry for people that are a little too soft.
Yeah. You fall once even on a box. Actually, I feel like falling on a box hurts the most because there's so much surface area to connect with.
Yeah, I've seen you smash into trees.
Yes,
Like, it's pretty gnarly.
it is pretty gnarly.
You talked about it, and I'm sure you've talked about it a bunch of times, but when you watch that in the Learning to Drown movie, actually just seeing the hits that you took over the career, it must shake you a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was disturbing to watch for sure. It's disturbing for others too. Like the feedback that we got was, we have to take some of those bales out because it's just like too hard for people to watch. And I was like, too hard for people to watch, huh? Like,
Yeah, they should try doing it.
no, I mean more like that. Like, how do you think it felt? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Look at it, acknowledge it. No, just joking. No. I don't like that kind of like trauma porn stuff. I personally can't watch bales anymore. It really like disturbs me on a deep level, and
Just because it reminds you of your own experience, or you don't like to see other people hurt?
I think it just like, I don't like to see other people hurt, but it just makes me feel absolutely sick. I think just carrying all the all the trauma that came with all those things. I'm like almost like hyper aware to risk now, which is something I need to balance every year at the event, seeing the girls being like, slow down, don't hit your head, you know? And
Yeah.
I remember being at the first super park that I ever went to, and I was going so hard and just like landing on my face on everything. And this girl who I was like a really established pro came up to me and was like, you need to slow your roll. You know, like you got a long career ahead of you. And I was like, shut up, grandma. You know, like I didn't say that, but I was thinking like, what do you know? So I just know that when I tell them like, yo, you got to slow down or whatever, that they're just like, okay, grandma.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, also, you know, is there, in big air, we have airbags, you know, there's foam pits, there's all kinds of stuff. For rails, though, you kind of just have to go for it.
Yeah, you do. And that's why it's easier for people to progress quickly in like half pipe and big air, because you can practice your tricks in like a lower stakes setting and then take it to snow. But what we actually did is put like gymnastics foam on the stairs at the event every year since the very beginning, because I wanted, it isn't just about like who's going to get on the podium. It's like maybe some girl who isn't super competitive, but really like a good video part rider probably isn't going to do good at a contest, but they're going to have a chance to practice their hardest tricks on real street features.
Right.
And knowing they can fall on their head on the stairs and they're just going to bounce off.
Yeah.
And this year, man, a couple of girls, like last year, I feel like, I don't know if the speed was more last year, so people were kind of like missing the stairs more. And I was like, oh, do we even need to like put this foam here anymore? But this year, a couple girls like landed straight on their heads and bounced on the middle of the stair set. And like you see the crowd being like, oh, because it doesn't look like foam. But inside, I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Because have you ever seen that anywhere else? Foam on rails?
No.
Yeah. Innovation.
On foam on stairs. Just
Yeah, sorry. Foam
the
on
rails
stairs.
are metal.
Obviously, rails are above the stairs.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
We don't have any images on this podcast.
Right.
Well, what do you want to go out on? Should we talk about hot dogs, or you got any secret recipes? I know you're big on bread.
Was big on bread when my bread guy was around. I get really big on stuff and then I'm out.
Right. And what's the time frame on that usually? Like, does it go for years if it can, or?
Yeah, I mean, as long as the source is there, I'd still be on bread if Pistachio guy would just come to farmer's market, but now he just does the farmer's markets in Vancouver, so.
What are you big on right now then? Is there something?
Honestly, this is going to hurt my reputation, but do you know what diamond painting is?
No.
It's like paint by numbers, but with these little like plastic diamond things where you stick them on to a thing, and it's like the only thing that calms me down now. So I've been
It's like bedazzling?
It's like bedazzling, but like on a canvas.
Right.
So I don't know. I've just kind of addicted to it right now.
Well, it's good repetitive motion.
Like stops my mind, because my mind never stops, and that's just a
yeah.
terrible thing, really.
And then, of course, do you have people who be like, oh, you should meditate?
Oh, yeah. Have you ever tried deep breathing? You know?
Like, no, have you ever tried diamond painting?
Yeah.
Have you got some done?
Have you ever tried fucking around with microplastics? Yeah, I should show you a picture.
Maybe we'll put it in the reel.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking millions of... No, okay, I don't know. I actually would like to know. We're talking like 8,000 pieces or something.
It's kind of like those people that build the giant Legos.
Yes.
But that's good. But I think because, A, it's It is meditative because you can kind of shut off and just follow the instructions and like make it perfect by lining them up. But then after a certain amount of time, you have created something. So you have that reward.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Now that you say that, it's like I was getting pissed off the other day because the canvas was so big and I was like, it looks like nothing when I'm doing it. And I'm just doing it, this thing over and over, and it just looks like nothing. But then you like take 10 steps back and you're like, holy crap, it's a beautiful piece of art. I can see the picture now that I'm standing away from it. So wow, how metaphorical. Let's end on that.
Okay, perfect. Jess Kimura, thank you.
Yeah,
Diamond
thank
in the
you.
rough.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thanks. And there we go. Thank you, Jess Kimura, for stopping by in real life to make that happen. One of the busiest people I know, still taking the time to do this for us. What a way to kick off season 6. As I mentioned off the top, go watch Learning to Drown online if you haven't seen it and want to know more about Jess. Other than that, Father's Day is fast approaching, school's winding down, and that means it's that time of the year where the regional mountain life mags start hitting the street. Watch for those if you live in one of Canada's great mountain towns, or hit up mountainlifemedia.ca to subscribe or shop at the shop. Thanks to Shirai Rules and Adrian Gendro for the voice and guitar work off the top. Thanks again to the North Face for keeping the dream alive. And thanks to everyone out there listening for tuning in the last 5 seasons and dropping in with us on this one. We'll be back in a month or so, but until then, keep your chains lubed and your paddles wet. Be kind to each other. Maybe try to change the world a bit. And please leave the campsite better than you found it.